Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Saturday, August 1st, 2015 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is my passion lights up my heart. And today we're still going to be coming down from that full moon in Aquarius that happened yesterday. Full moon, blue moon, super moon. The moon will stay in Aquarius through most of the day. So we have time to really implement anything that came up for us with this full moon in Aquarius. We're going to also start the day with an interesting connection. We're going to have the Sun in Leo in conjunct Neptune in Pisces. And this is kind of, an in conjunct is kind of like we don't really see eye to eye. It's not a square. It's not an opposition. It's just a little bit, it's kind of interesting. It can bring interesting energy up. And what's interesting for me about this interesting connection, if there are signs like that would be categories like, in high school, most dramatic, that would be Leo and Pisces. So having those energies lit up, there's definitely, and the energy of the full moon definitely feeding in, playing along, there could be a tendency towards the dramatic, whether it's fun dramatic, oh, the world's a stage, or if it's like melodrama, whole life, it could really be interesting. What is interesting, I guess that's the word of the day, interesting, is that this is happening at 9 degrees. Both planets are at 9 degrees, which is that Aries degree of passion, which definitely can feed into this melodrama. It also can ignite it. So part of the drama might be like you might be feeling, I don't know, any leftovers from this full moon rising like a volcano within you. You might have some kind of eruption, which I think is positive to get it out. Just try not to erupt all over somebody. Nobody needs to take on your lava flow. So be aware of that happening in the morning time. I think the biggest thing that's happening today, though, is that Saturn is going direct. Saturn is going direct today in Scorpio. After the last, I think, basically 2 months hanging out in Scorpio, we're moving forward, and we're going to be moving forward straight into Sagittarius. Yikes. All the way until September 17th. And what's really coming up with this, with Saturn moving direct? Saturn, I think Saturn in any sign is such a positive thing. It makes us really work through our stuff. Wherever Saturn is in our sign, we've got to work through it. We don't have a choice. But I think Saturn can also bring up something within us that I think now is the perfect time to look at it. Saturn, every planet has its good and bad. Good and bad. The easy stuff and the darker stuff, light and dark. I don't like good and bad. I don't really like light and dark representing good and bad either. Just light and dark lessons. We'll go with that. And one of the things, especially Saturn in Scorpio, there can be an essence of the control freak coming up. And I think the control freak, it ties in with that shadow king, the shadow masculine within us that wants to just handle things and make it go this way. It's all going to go this way, straight and narrow. So look at that with this energy of Saturn finishing up its retrograde today and moving direct. How are you trying to control some things in your life, and you're shutting your heart out, you're shutting that heart passion out? We are building actually to 2 major squares with Saturn. Venus has just moved back into Leo and is going to be squaring with Saturn, and Jupiter is moving forward, finishing up in Leo, and is going to be squaring with Saturn. And so they want to bring this light energy, but there's the part of us, possibly the part that you feel ashamed of, that's still like, I can't let the light out. That would give you a piece of your shadow king. I went to my mentor once and I was like, you know what? I'm really comfortable with my light. I know my light, but I can't find my darkness. I don't know where my darkness is. And she was like, start with your perfection issues and the control freak inside you, and you will find those darker things to work with. That is part of my shadow king. So that's definitely going to be up as we're working in these squares. So we still need to be responsible, we still need to show up for ourselves, but you don't need to be the shadow king. You don't need to control yourself through it. Control yourself like regimented, you know what I mean. Words. Anyways, we also have the moon opposite Jupiter today, I think this is going to just be feeding into the light capacity, your unique expression capacity. I think that's beautiful. The moon is also going to be opposite Venus in Leo. Again, you know, Venus is at 29 degrees Leo. So this is about loving yourself, showing up as yourself. And that moon in Aquarius wants it. So even though it's an opposition, I think it's all pointing to your self-expression, which could feed into that melodrama again. I think Saturday might be an interesting day to people watch. And we also have the moon then shifting into Pisces in the evening. So your dreams are going to be coming online. Maybe your dreams will give you a hint of that Shadow King. So lots going on today to really, you know, dive in deep. So the cards I pulled. Source. This card I see as like this Leo energy, lighting up with your passion and creating from that place. I think that's what creation is. It's like love and passion becomes manifest. But this is kind of like, you know, the darker part in us that fights it, that holds it back, because it's scary. It's scary to be vulnerable. So watch where you're fighting yourself and get beyond the illusion. I love this card. Get beyond the illusion, because look, blooming these wings, becoming beyond the caterpillar. The caterpillar thought its life was over, and then it became a butterfly. And that's the stage we're all in right now. We're these little caterpillars, and I think Saturn retrograde has kind of been this cocoon, and now it's time, okay, I've done the work. I'm going to fly. I'm going to spread my wings and fly. So that is it for today. Amazing, Astro. I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.